Hello everybody, this is Joe Berning from Galena, Illinois. Getting back to another video here. Just the second one in a series of political videos having to do with my running for state senator in northwestern Illinois. So last week I touched on some of the major reasons that I'm running for the office in the first place. And today I would like to expand on that a little further. By the way, let me just say first of all, it is a beautiful day. High, I think, is right about in the mid-70s with low humidity and just a light breeze. It just couldn't be much better. So I do hope everyone gets a chance to get out and enjoy this gorgeous day today. In continuing with what I said last week about why I want to be the senator for northwestern Illinois and represent our district in Springfield, it's pretty simple again. It has to do with working together with other people, whether it's Republicans or Democrats or independents. It really shouldn't matter. There's work to be done that could serve we the people here in this district. And I could talk for a while, very easily, about all the things that aren't getting done. Actually, I will touch on some of that. What I really should say is I could talk about all the terrible things that are being done by this guy who's supposed to be representing us right now. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't want to be all negative and spend that much time on that part of it, but I think people need to know some facts. And so I'm going to give just one example. And that was what is commonly referred to as the squatters bill. And that happened to take place about, a month, maybe 6 weeks ago already, whereby all the legislatures and the governor here in the state of Illinois signed off on what was a very good bill to give the landlords a little more protection with their rights when it came time to removing squatters from a rental property when they had certainly overstayed their welcome. Maybe they were tearing the place apart, maybe they were not paying their rent, maybe it was some of both and more. But this bill made it possible for landlords to remove those so-called squatters in a way that didn't take quite so many court dates and quite so much money spent on attorneys' fees and judges, etc., as what it had been taking prior to this happening, prior to the bill's passing. Now, why do I bring that up? Because remember I said the whole state of Illinois passed it in flying colors. Well, except for one person. One person voted against it, and you guessed it, that person was the senator whose position I hope to take away from him in 2026. Now, let me talk about the how-to on that again. How do we do that? There's a lot of voters I have noticed as I go around and get petition signatures who are not voting. For whatever reason, so far, things have not become important enough to them to get out and vote. I think that's extremely sad. I've looked at all the numbers in the counties. I see the percentages, and I shake my head in disbelief that we could be this far into the problems that we've been seeing lately. I mean, even as we speak, we've got a federal authority, a so-called president of this great nation, threatening to send military troops in to some of our cities to take control. And with some of that, it's just unimaginable that we wouldn't have more of our voters wanting to have some say and go to the polls when they get the chance. So getting back on track here, I'm going to need help to get elected. A lot of people know that the district has been voting historically roughly 60% Republican and 40% Democrat. So that bodes very well for the incumbent, whom I'm trying to tell you has not been doing his job. I'd like to change that. I'd like to think that there's a lot more people would like to change that. And so let's talk to people about getting out there and voting for the change that we need. And in this case, the change would be to elect me next a year from this November. We got to get through the March primary first. But I'm just wanting to gear everybody up and get the numbers up to where they need to be to get me into that office in November of 2026. So I hope you've gotten something out of this video, and I'll try to have a few more meat and potatoes in terms of details of things I'd really like to accomplish in the future in some of the next videos. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day. And there's why we stopped for a few minutes. We're going to figure out how to get around it or through it.